Good. That was the wrong speech they had there. Good morning, and welcome to the graduation of the class of 2022. This is the first graduation we have held in the amphitheater with all of the other grades present since June of 2019. And listening to the students sing as the graduates walked in, I just was reminded of how much this tradition means to me and to this community. I am so grateful that we're able to have this full graduation back. I also want to welcome next to me on stage here today, we have the Chair of the Board of Trustees, Chuck Hammers, Vice Mayor Maria Risto, Amy Hand, head of the middle school, and Bailey Borbis, who is our special speaker from the from the class of 2018. So today marks a significant transition for this dynamic young group of people next to me on stage, but they are not the only ones who are undergoing a major change. In front of me sit the proud parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, friends. For the parents, today also marks a major milestone. I hope that your sons and daughters have thanked you for all of the love and support you have provided through their years at Hillbrook. But if by chance they have not, let me, on their behalf, thank you. You have given them the gift of an extraordinary educational foundation, a gift that will stay with them throughout their lives. The class of 2022 is 33 students strong. A number of them have been here since JK&K. I counted 12 lifers. A few joined just this year, and many came along the way somewhere between 1st and 7th grade. All of them have spent the most formative years of their lives on our campus, learning, growing, falling down, getting back up, and challenging themselves to be their best. From their earliest years, we have tried to instill in them the belief that they can be a change maker, that they can make the world a better place. Anyone at any age can ask themselves the Scott Center questions. What matters to me, and what am I going to do about it? And then, as we have seen from them through the years, they can and will go and do something. From food drives for refugees to diaper drives for low-income families, they have time and again shown a willingness to apply the knowledge, skills, and confidence gained here to solve problems beyond our campus. As each of them highlighted last week during the Social Impact Summit, there are some big problems out there that they care about. Climate change, internet privacy, racial justice and stopping Asian hate, social media and mental health, just to name a few. All of these are big, complex problems that do not have simple solutions. As one of their classmates mentioned during his keynote presentation, the size and complexity of these problems can sometimes leave us feeling hopeless. What do we do in those moments? What do we do when the problems we face seem insurmountable? Recently, I've found inspiration in an unlikely place: Marvel movies. Two recent movies, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, introduced a concept that I have not been able to stop thinking about: the multiverse. For those who are not familiar with it, the idea of the multiverse is that beyond observable universes, other universes may exist. Now, within the world of Marvel, the concept plays out in ideas that these universes are similar to our own, so that if we can jump between them, we can meet other versions of ourselves. My favorite example of this is in Spider-Man No Way Home, in which three Peter Parkers, played by the three different actors who've played the role over the last 20 years, all come together in one scene. Peter 1, Peter 2, and Peter 3 join together to fight off evil and save the day. Now that's kind of a fun idea. Let's imagine another universe in which a Hillbrook graduation is taking place. Maybe in that universe, the uniform colors have changed, or the songs that they sang for the ceremony were different. Even better, perhaps in one of those universes, they didn't face a pandemic over the past few years. What would I say to another Mr. Silver if I jumped into that universe at this moment? Or him to me? What would any of you say to your alternative selves? Now, what makes this more than just a fun thought experiment is that scientists believe that the multiverse may be real. Now, to be clear, scientists are not necessarily envisioning the multiverse as it's drawn up in Marvel Comics or as I just described it. They do, however, believe that other universes might exist. In other words, beyond our universe, which is already something that is almost impossible to imagine, they believe that there may be even more universes. So now back to where I started a minute ago. Why do I suggest that you think about the multiverse in moments of doubt? Because at least to me, the idea that this is possible suggests that so many other things are also possible. If other universes exist, it is yet another example of something that is out there that is beyond our ability to understand at this moment. And that means that while the current problems may seem insurmountable, we need to remind ourselves that there is so much we don't yet know. And that includes all types of ways we might solve some of these current problems if we just continue to ask questions, look for possible solutions, and make the effort to move things forward. So, class of 2022, you are well positioned to be the superheroes we need to make the world a better place. Armed with our core values, a strong academic foundation, a belief in the possible, and an ability to tell a joke, something every great superhero needs in moments of crisis, you are ready to go beyond our campus and make a difference. You don't need all the answers. Indeed, as concepts like the multiverse remind us, we will never know everything. You just need a little bit of kindness, a strong dose of curiosity, a willingness to take a risk, and a commitment to something bigger than yourself. Congratulations on your graduation, class of 2022. I can't wait to see what you do in this universe and beyond. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Board of Trustees, Chuck Hammers, to present the Richard Concilla Award.
The Richard Concilla Award is named in honor of Richard Concilla, the first student of our school and an alumnus of the Children's Country School class of 1946. Richard has remained connected to the school since his graduation, participating in alumni activities, sharing stories of the school's history with our students, supporting the school, and regularly returning to the campus that he describes as coming home. In fact, Richard's here today. Richard, please stand up. The Concilla Award is Hillbrook's highest honor to a volunteer member of our community. This award is given to an alumni parent, or other volunteer who has provided lifetime service to the school. It recognizes exemplary service to our school and an unwavering commitment to the school's vision to inspire students to achieve their dreams and reach beyond themselves to make a difference in the world. Nominees are approved by the Board of Trustees. This year's Richard Concilla Award recipient is Tom Archer. Tom served as a member of the Board of Trustees for 12 years and has recently extended his service to the school by serving as an alumni advisory trustee. During his many years as trustee, Tom has helped to create and then support a robust financial modeling process that has transformed the school's long-term financial outlook. He provided strategic support and vision, helping the school see how different financial levers can optimize the school's long-term sustainability. Tom and his wife, Julie, have been philanthropic leaders at the school, generously supporting both annual giving and capital campaigns and inspiring others to join them in their strong support of the school. While Tom's 3 children graduated a number of years ago, Mackenzie, class of 2010, Jason, class of 2013, and Graham, class of 2016, he's remained an active member of the board and the community, and he continues to be a powerful advocate for the Hillbrook. We are truly grateful for all that Tom has done for the school. Tom, it's an honor for me to give you this award.
So our next speaker, unfortunately, the mayor was unable to attend this morning. He was not feeling well, but in his place is Vice Mayor Maria Risto, who at the last moment jumped in. Thank you so much, Maria, for joining us, and she's going to share a few congratulatory remarks.
Good morning. Good morning, parents and teachers, Hillbrook students, but especially good morning, Hillbrook graduates. My name is Maria Risto, and I'm the Vice Mayor of Los Gatos. I'm privileged to share this morning with you. On behalf of the town of Los Gatos and the entire town council, I extend to you a heartfelt congratulations. I am thrilled for each of you on this beautiful and significant day. I can see the happiness in your faces. Some of them. I see a little anxiety in some of you. Take a moment now. Look around. You are here in this beautiful natural setting, surrounded by your friends, family, and teachers. Breathe in and be in the moment. You are special and loved and supported. You deserve this moment to shine. During your years at Hillbrook, you have learned to be of service, show kindness, be curious, take risks, and be your best. You have accumulated opportunities, challenges, friendships, and experiences. These have shaped you and set you on your own unique path. I can tell you now, You will always be able to look back at any point in your life and see how the past has helped to move you to wherever you are. You will be able to trace back and see the trail, but always what lies ahead is unknown. Each decision, experience, person in your life will move you forward, change you a bit, but there are so many options, so many forks in the road. You can't really know what lies ahead. That might feel a little scary, but isn't it also pretty thrilling? Your life is your journey, your own personal adventure. I have always told my children, when someone asks you if you do something or know something, the answer should not be no. If it's not yes, it should be not yet. Leave possibilities open. Remain curious. Be ready to try new things. As you head to and through high school, you will meet more friends, maybe try a sport you've never done, read interesting books, join a club you've never heard of, change your clothing style, hair color, etc. And that is fun and normal and important. Don't let others define you or tell you what to think or do. But as you have new ideas or try novel activities, always remember who you are deep down. Maintain your friendships, rely on your family, cherish memories of your formative years at Hillbrook. When life feels uncertain or you're overwhelmed, go back to what grounds you. A walk on a trail, sitting outside, listening to the birds, playing an instrument, writing in a journal, helping someone else, talking to your dog or cat, doing a puzzle, sharing a laugh and a hug with your mom or dad or brother or sister. I'm sure you can each envision the activities that will make you happy. Hold on to them and remain true to yourself. I think we each learned how to find peace during the pandemic. Retain this for yourself. Life will always have ups and downs, and knowing what brings you happiness is essential. You have been given all you need to move forward after today. Have a great summer and embrace all the new opportunities high school and the future bring. I'm excited for you and I wish you well. Our entire community is better for having you be a part of it. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Maria. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Bailey Borbas, who was the winner of the Hillbrook Award and a graduate of, in 2018 and a graduate of Bellarmine College Prep. So the Hillbrook Award is given each year to a student who best exemplifies our vision, to inspire students to achieve their dreams and reach beyond themselves to make a difference in the world. In addition to being honored in the moment, the Hillbrook Award winner returns 4 years later to address our graduates. Yesterday, we announced the winner of this year's award, Kyle Cortez. And we look forward to hearing from Kyle in 4 years after he graduates from Bellarmine College Prep. Bailey and his older sister Samantha, who is a junior at UC Davis, both attended Hillbrook starting in junior kindergarten. While at Hillbrook, Bailey stood out for his academic accomplishments and his wholehearted engagement in the life of the school. He fondly remembers his role in the 8th grade musical, The Music Man, as well as his love of the well-rounded education he received. During his 4 years at Bellarmine, he was increasingly drawn to science and math, taking courses in marine bio and AP environmental science this past year. He will be heading to the University of California, Santa Cruz in the fall, where he'll be majoring in marine biology. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Bailey.
Good morning, students, faculty and staff, family and friends, and of course, the class of 2022. When I left Hillbrook, I knew that I was prepared for high school academically, but I was a bit worried about making friends. While I had a handful of close friends going to Bellarmine with me, I knew I needed to meet more people. For me, this felt like the first time I really had to go out of my way to make friends. I had just spent the past 10 years in a very tight-knit community, and we were suddenly all going our separate ways. At first, I wasn't doing so well. I had made a couple of new friends, but I didn't really have a true community to call my own. Thankfully, in about the second to third week of school, my acting teacher suggested that if I didn't want to get involved with the theater productions, maybe I should join theater tech. I was a spotlight operator as a 7th grader for The Little Mermaid here at Hillbrook, so theater tech wasn't exactly a stranger to me. But I went into Bellarmine expecting to go really into acting, so I decided that I could try it out. This was the best decision I could have ever made. I went into the scene shop feigning confidence, while I was really just a little scared and confused. I was then given a tour and some basic tool training, and I'll be honest, I wasn't great. Despite my experience in Ken and Dita's art classes, I was nervous and a bit out of practice. Most of my cuts were either slightly slanted or a half-inch off their mark, and my screws went into the wood a bit diagonally. Thankfully, this is far off from my current skill set. My peers, who had been in my position a few years prior, reassured me that it was okay to not know what I was doing. Their support, friendship, and leadership kept me coming back to hone my skills instead of becoming discouraged. I was quickly welcomed into their community, and I truly felt like an important and appreciated part of their group. I wasn't just a freshman to them. I really looked up to many of the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Not only were they great leaders in the scene shop, but they were also incredible role models to me. They treated me with respect, they allowed me to grow and learn, and they made sure I felt included. I can't thank them enough for that. As I continued through high school, they obviously graduated and moved on to college. I really missed having them around, and I was worried about becoming a leader myself. Fortunately, I found myself stepping into their shoes as an upperclassman by welcoming in the new freshmen to theater tech. I really focused on being a good leader in the scene shop, but I didn't realize my greater impact on these students until a few months ago. Throughout my senior year, I became close friends with a handful of freshmen and sophomores, just as the upperclassmen had done with me. I knew how much it meant to me during my freshman year, so I wanted to reciprocate. I'd like to think I'd become a good role model. I'd become someone they can talk to, whether that's for a serious conversation or if we're just sitting together during our free periods or lunch. Even small acts of kindness, like giving them a ride somewhere, goes a long way in building these friendships. While I'm sad I won't be at the same school as them, I hope that I've made a positive impact on all of their lives, and I'll be close enough where I can visit them often. Finding a community within your high school is the most important thing you can do. While having a ton of friends is fun, having a tight-knit support system is extremely valuable. I think a lot of people forget that you incoming freshmen, you have complex emotions, and that's not something that's easy to deal with. I know I'm definitely guilty of forgetting this, but luckily I have a lot of friends who remind me of that. High school, like life, is not always going to be super easy, but having a support system with people you can count on, whether they're younger or older than you, will make your high school experience so much better. This year, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend 2 immersion trips to Tijuana, Mexico. One in November, where I was a part of a small group, and one in April, where I was a leader for a part of a larger group. These trips were the culminations of all of the skills I learned here at Hillbrook and at Bellarmine. We were building houses for families in need, so I was able to use the woodworking and building skills I had learned throughout art classes here and in the scene shop at Bellarmine. I was one of 3 leaders in a group of about 15 students and adults, and I used my leadership skills that I had honed from Hillbrook throughout all of these years. My desire to attend these trips and to help others was sparked from my service work here I did at Hillbrook and continued to do at Bellarmine, as well as my desire to take risks. You may not realize it, I surely didn't, but I assure you that you are prepared to be a leader and to make an impact after you leave this school. All right, so I guess I should give you some concrete advice instead of just some life lessons from my anecdotes. First, get involved in high school. I found that doing an activity with someone makes it so much easier to become friends with them than just trying to have conversations. Second, be intentional about your leadership. It took me a long time to realize the impact that I've had on the other students, and I hope you all realize that sooner than I will. Lastly, have a relaxing summer. The beginning of high school might be stressful, so I hope you all take this opportunity to get some rest and some well-needed relaxation. I'd like to leave you all with some song lyrics. This song was introduced to me in junior kindergarten by Miss Lipson. I would hope you all know how this song goes, but it goes, "Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold." Good luck, class of 2022, and congratulations.
Thank you, Bailey. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the class speaker. The class speaker is chosen by the class, and so introduce Diksha Hala.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Hillbrook's 2022 graduation. I'm Diksha Hala and I'm here to speak on behalf of this class. We would like to extend a warm welcome to the graduating class, friends, family, guardians, relatives, faculty, and staff. To my classmates in the class of 2022, I stand before you reflecting on the many years of history and legacy we've created together. Today, we are here to have fun, reminisce about the sweet memories we created together, and have the time of our lives. Sitting behind me are the leaders that we are here to celebrate today. Each and every one of these students have embraced Hillbrook's core values and made an example of them in their own way. One way to see this is in the accomplishments of the students. For example, Kaylin Dugan's diaper drive was able to donate 5,527 diapers. Though, along with the diapers, there were numerous baby materials that were donated, such as jackets, clothes, baby toys, and many more things. Another important example of the leaders in our grade is Finn McFarland, who led a coat drive all around school. The coats that were contributed got sent to the local nonprofit city teams. Together, both Finn and the city teams are trying to stop homelessness locally and globally. As part of her social impact and leadership project, Kara Fan made a beautiful and powerful mural speaking out against Asian hate. Earlier this year, Soraya Johansson led a school-wide Afghanistan refugee crisis campaign where we all helped create baskets full of foods and spices from the Afghani region to make Afghani refugees feel at home. As you can see, there are many leaders in the class of 2022 who will improve and become better leaders in the world. I want to give a big thanks and acknowledge every single member of this class for making the past 5 years some of the best years that have ever happened to me. No joke, this speech is harder to write than any of my English essays. There are so many sweet memories and fun moments I would like to share with everyone in this speech, but if I could tell all the stories, we would be here for an extremely long time. There have been too many fun moments with this grade that I will cherish forever, such as the play You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Man, that play was something indeed. The costumes, lighting, acting, but hey, don't forget the backstage helpers. There are so many moments that I will cherish, the silly moments, the sad moments, the times where everyone had a good laugh. One particular story that will forever remain in my mind was when in 7th grade, some of us were in English class and we finished a math test a few days before. It was dead quiet in the class. Nobody was talking. The only sound you could hear was the typing of keys and pencils on paper. Then, suddenly, Cyrus jumped up and yelled so loud, Miss Neal graded the quiz. Everyone stopped for everything for a second and then started yelling because we were so anxious. It was definitely a moment to remember. You can ask my friends. I keep on retelling this story over and over again, but everyone still has such a good laugh. As we all venture out into the coming years of high school, I hope that we can always remember the special moments that we have had together as a grade. I hope that we will never forget each other and we will always keep in touch no matter what. In the following years, we will need all the love and support possible. So, class of 2022, make sure that when we finish the graduation today, we will leave and give the people we love a big hug because they have always been there for us and they always will be. Now, instead of all this mushy-gushy stuff, let's get to the fun part already. It's time for some fun in the sun. We have arrived to the end of the year and we are going to get ready for the next chapter in our lives together. As we move forward as a community, we will always remember the lessons Hillbrook taught us and their core values. Next, we have Anada and Quinn representing JK and K. Please give a big round of applause for them, and thank you.
Hello, my name's Toad.
And I'm Quinn Gingery.
A decade ago, 8 young 5-year-old children came to Hillbrook, not knowing the journey that lied ahead of them. Today, 3 of those kids are present: me, Martin Dimitrov, and David Herman. Clap for you. Our extremely small JK class was led and taught by the late Miss Hanley. Our other teachers were Susie for art, Miss Colton for library, Miss Lipson for music, Miss Richards for PE, and Miss Blum for science. Despite the size of our crew, we still managed to create memories that would last a lifetime. Miss Hanley was akin to a second mother to all us JKers. She was the epitome of kind-hearted. I remember her letting me sit on her lap and hug her, even when she was teaching, when my mother suddenly had to leave for Thailand for a family emergency. Miss Hanley was also our math teacher and English teacher, although math was limited to counting and remembering numerals, and English instruction was mainly recognizing numbers and writing words. She also taught us social etiquette, such as letting others talk and being kind to our classmates. In the first week of school, I was kindly invited to for some tea and biscuits in the principal's office, except there was no tea, and there definitely wasn't any biscuits. Back way before the hub was created, Ken had his own classroom, albeit quite small. There was also 4 concrete planter boxes in front of Susan King's classroom, which were covered with splotches and markings of multitudes of paints, markers, and spray paints. My classmates, Martin and Liam, who had left in 6th grade, had found an uncapped Sharpie and had the best idea any troublesome 5-year-old kids can have. Deciding that 3 is better than 2, they wrote me into painting with them, drawing. Not knowing any better, little me picked up the brush and started drawing to my heart's delight. Not even a second later, Ken appeared behind me and started strictly questioning what I was doing. A sobbing mess of a Toad was promptly excused from the office and sent on my way. And that's how I was sent to the principal's office not even a week into my Hillbrook life. After our excitement-filled first year of Hillbrook was over, we were ready to move on to kindergarten.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Quinn, and I came to Hillbrook in kindergarten. It feels like so much longer. Since both my parents have been working here for 18 years, I've really grown up with this being my second home. From our carefree demeanor to our benign difficulties when we were young, kindergarten at Hillbrook was fun and free. I remember the day I came to school in my pretty little free dress outfit, a rainbow striped shirt, jeans with floral embroidery, sandals, and probably at least 4 hair clips, only to find that I was the only one wearing free dress. I had no idea it was a Thursday. Adjusting to kindergarten at Hillbrook wasn't too hard. Our amiable classmates made it easy to simply just be friends with everyone. We all got together to look for the gingerbread man we made when he went missing, to play in the sand, chase each other around the playground, and wait for our turns on our beloved swings. I love how half our learning at Hillbrook in kindergarten took place in the playground. We had a great mindset growing up. In the fall, we had fun looking at and choosing pumpkins, climbing the straw bale maze, and riding the train at the pumpkin patch called Spinna Farms. We probably all could have stayed there for hours longer. We dressed up in fantastic costumes for Halloween, with some of our costumes being Snow White and Luigi, and we read all sorts of different themed books in the library with Miss Skolton, and later on with Miss Dowdy. And we performed the hard work of learning Halloween songs we probably still remember to this day. Perhaps you too can still do the hand gestures from Entry Mintery or sing the lyrics to Monster Day, a couple of the Hillbrook classics. Our whole grade loved our warm-hearted teachers, Miss Okano, Miss Ozeki, and Miss Collins, who taught us everything from how to count, to writing our names and learning the alphabet, to singing happy birthday when we washed our hands. I'm sure most of us on this stage miss nap time, even if we weren't actually napping. Personally, I love spending that time drawing pictures, playing with Play-Doh, or even telling stories to Miss Collins. We also appreciated our fun playtime in science, which included gardening with Miss Blom. In PE, we tried to keep the big multicolored parachute up in the air with lots of help from Miss Richards. We took every opportunity we could to have fun and celebrate, and the 100th day of kindergarten was a favorite, with counting in the hundreds with Cheerios and Fruit Loops for necklaces and covering the ground in our chalk art. Of course, we also learned our fair share of lessons in both kindergarten and junior kindergarten. We established the basics, such as sharing is caring, which pretty much applied to everything, such as snacks, books, stuffed animals, and the scooters, bicycles, slides, and swings on the playground. We learned especially about the core values, such as be kind, and will forever bring that with us through our lives. Back then, kindness was walking a friend to the office to get a Band-Aid. Now, kindness might be sticking with that same friend through bigger problems in life, such as supporting them as they apply to high schools. On the hottest days in kindergarten, one of our priorities was always having fun and making the best out of situations. Even if at the time is perhaps dramatizing our desperate need for ice after falling down the stairs, and, of course, begging Miss Cynthia and Miss Carbarlock to eat Otter Pops and play in the sprinklers. My favorite kindergarten lesson was Beautiful Oops and art with Miss Susie, because to this day I love the mindset of being able to turn what might have been a problem around to make it into something fabulous. Now I'd like to welcome Tyler, Oliver, and Ethan speaking about the first and second grade.
Good job.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2014. We have now just become first graders, and being in kindergarten feels like it was ages ago. When we were in kindergarten, we weren't allowed to walk from class to class on our own. The teachers would escort us. A major step forward in our Hillbrook careers came in the first grade, walking to class on our own. Something which may now seem very normal was anything but normal then. We had to learn how to navigate from class to class and to not lollygag, so we got to class on time.
My greatest experience in first grade has got to be the first grade auction. We had been saving up our fake money for months, and it was now time to spend it. We could each bring in a couple of items that we wanted to auction off, and we then sold them to each other to get more money for ourselves.
On top of getting to do more things in homeroom, we also had some new classes, like Spanish. I remember one time in Spanish we were singing a song about a butterfly making hot chocolate, and on the last day of singing it, the teacher gave us hot chocolate.
In first grade English, we learned a crucial skill: how to write a sentence. This was a monumental step in our writing career, and as you know, Mr. Poma, I am still working on this. This skill was later used in writing our books.
When the prospect of writing and publishing my very own book was proposed, I remember the idea being super crazy and daunting, but there's nothing like the feeling of sitting there at the top of the village and showing my book to parents and teachers.
Now we will transition to our second grade year, 2015 to 2016.
During most of our time in second grade, the playground was being renovated. I remember playing on the grass because that's all we could do during recess, playing sports like football and soccer for 3/4 of the year. By the last quarter, the playground was done, and I think everyone can agree with me when I say the playground was worth the wait.
Recess was only amongst the fun times in second grade. We went on many field trips, the most notable being a 17-hour flight to Egypt in our classroom. We had our airplane rows in our classroom, and we had a TV to simulate the flight. Looking back, I must have fallen asleep because I could have sworn the flight felt more like 5 to 10 minutes.
Making poem books in second grade was another great memory. I remember how we would write the poem in class and then go down to art class and make an art page right next to the poem. After completing our book, we went and had an art show, a author's walkabout, where parents and friends could come and read our books.
After seeing our second grade buddies' poetry books this year, I remembered how proud I was of my book and how excited I was to have my older buddies look at it. Another memory I have is how big the 8th graders were. They seemed like giants compared to us. We learned so much from our buddies and created many fond memories. I remember seeing my older buddies graduating, and it's hard to believe that now we are the older buddies graduating. Finally, 1st and 2nd grade were 2 of the most memorable years of our Hillbrook journey. We would like to thank all of our teachers and Miss Lee, Miss Adriana, and Mr. Rivetto. Next, we have Maya and Jane with 3rd and 4th grade.
Hello, my name is Maya Swanson,
Hi, my name is Jane Lockdeff.
and today we are here to deliver the 3rd and 4th grade memory speech.
Third grade started as an exciting year. On rainy days, Miss Long allowed our class to play Apples to Apples, the card game where you decide whose response is the funniest. In music class, we held friendly competitions to see who could get the highest recorder belt.
What do you mean, like belting out notes with who goes louder?
No, belts like those that represent levels in martial arts. Miss Engineer would tie a different string color around the recorder indicating which level you had accomplished.
We spent weeks studying Greek mythology, memorizing the ancient tales of Hercules' strength, King Midas's golden touch, and Athena and Poseidon's battle over Athens, all so we could put on a play to showcase our knowledge to our parents.
Do you remember what your role was?
Miss Skolton assigned us both one of the 12 impossible labors for Hercules to prove his strength. I was the task of slaying the Nemean lion, and you were capturing the Cretan bull.
At recess, we discovered new friends and created new bonds of playing Hot Lava Monster, where one person had to tag everyone on the playground.
My favorite game was Foursquare on the Blacktop, where you tried to keep the ball out of your square and into everyone else's.
Spring came and we ended third grade with a pop of color.
Literally.
The Holy Festival of Colors is a celebration held widely across India that celebrates the triumph of good over evil, which we were able to experience with our 7th grade buddies by throwing colored powder into the air.
Summer came and went, and I was so incredibly nervous for the upcoming year, but as soon as we stepped foot into the 4th grade classrooms, Miss Seebecker and Miss Butler welcomed us with open arms. Every morning they came with smiles on their faces, ready to nourish our young minds.
Miss Seebecker always came up with creative incentives to help us reflect one of Hillbrook's core values, be your best. The jar of marbles was our grade's favorite way of demonstrating this. Each time someone was on their best behavior, a marble would be added. Correspondingly, if someone misbehaved, a marble would be deducted. If the entire jar was filled, our class would receive a pizza party.
That's right, Jane. No one really did want to lose their marbles.
In 4th grade, one of our pivotal memories was our class field trip to Coloma, where we learned about the culture, music, and folklore of the California Gold Rush.
My most memorable moments for Coloma were panning for gold and dancing around the campfire. Unfortunately, I only found fool's gold.
Deepening our understanding of California history, we visited a mission.
Do you mean a mission statement?
No, we actually visited the Spanish mission San Juan Bastia, which is famous for being the top of San Andreas fault line and surviving numerous earthquakes.
In 3rd and 4th grade, I discovered a tight-knit community at Hillbrook, a branch of people who were interested in the same things I was and held the same values as my own.
We are extremely grateful for Hillbrook, from interactive learning by doing field trips like Coloma to learning about animal care responsibility with the chickens and Vinny the guinea pig. Hillbrook has provided us with endless opportunities. We are so grateful to the teachers who have set us up for success emotionally, academically, and socially.
Now, introducing the 5th and 6th grade memory speakers, Soraya and Estelle.
Hello, my name is Soraya Hansen, and I've attended Hillbrook since kindergarten. and I will be sharing my reflection of our 5th grade year. At Hillbrook, crossing the bridge onto the big kid side of campus as a new middle schooler was an exciting yet also nerve-wracking experience. With no homeroom teacher, we as 5th graders will have to fend for ourselves in the harsh world of IXL math homework, Membean vocab practice, annotating the novel Inside Out and Back Again, and seeking out help in office hours. We stretched ourselves, struggled, learned, and grew. Since 5th grade was seemingly ages ago, allow me to propose that as we graduate today from Hillbrook, we take the following 2 lessons with us from 5th grade. The first lesson that we learned in 5th grade is to take risks. If there's one thing I think that we can all remember from 5th grade, it was the fiery election season from our first times running for student council. From the moment we submitted our Google form indicating our candidacy to represent our 5th grade class, it felt like a race to be the first to tape up our poster with a cheesy election slogan. Student council was something that none of us had yet experienced before and required us to put ourselves out there in a way that we had never done before. And what I've taken from this competitive and new experience is to take risks and try something out of your comfort zone and risk failure. As for those who did not win, as I didn't, we were all able to survive the rest of 5th grade nonetheless. The second lesson is to reach beyond ourselves and see the world in new ways. 5th grade was our very first year taking part in Reach Beyond Week, and from spending the nights on the boat with Miss Doman and Mr. Sears, learning about the dangerous effects of pollution in our waters, to backpacking with Mr. Visa and learning to be better stewards of our land, we saw the world beyond our campus and were able to educate ourselves and broaden our perspectives. With these informed views on life outside of our campus, we are now all well-equipped with an open perspective, ready to learn, but also question. And now, even though we won't have our Hillbrook friends and teachers to cheer us on through the last mile of our hike or remind us of how to test the salinity of the waters, as we go to high school, we will be ready to reach beyond ourselves with an open mind, striving to learn more about the world and about the people around us. Transitioning into a new environment is scary, especially for those of us who have been here for as long as we can remember. But as we now stand to cross the metaphorical bridge into high school, it is not as nerve-wracking as one might think, as even though we won't have our Hillbrook teachers and friends by our side as we take new classes, we will make new friends, explore new interests, and we will take these lessons with us. We will embark as 9th graders with a willingness to take risks, try new things, and with an open mind, ready to learn but also question, and then knowing that we can reach beyond ourselves to see the world differently. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Estelle Paduano, and I have attended Hillbrook School since kindergarten. I will be sharing my reflection on 6th grade, the most historically significant year in our time at Hillbrook. The beginning of 6th grade at Hillbrook was a true middle school year in terms of the academic expectations and our level of independence. It was a leap from 5th grade, with more tests, quizzes, and homework. We were introduced to fractions, statistics, ratios, and the metric system with Miss Young, while Miss Shu taught us about astronomy and geology. A team of gingeries led us through history and English. We learned how to memorize geography by studying regions of Asia, such as China and India, and studied world religions like Hinduism and Buddhism. We dove into the historical context of more sophisticated literature like Mara, Daughter of the Nile, and Red Scarf Girl. Our class went on field trips to the planetarium and Egyptian Museum. I had fun building ziggurats as we practiced team building skills. In 6th grade, we also encountered the infancy of Hillbrook's social entrepreneurship program. Students were introduced to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and we each created a poster connecting to an issue we cared about. Some of our classmates participated in a podcast with Mr. Silver discussing social issues that mattered to them most. A personal favorite memory of mine was creating a poster about Sustainable Development Goal number 12, responsible production and consumption. I connected this to animal welfare and the environmental impact of factory farms. 6th grade brought new experiences of interacting with each other. We went to our first dances and formed new relationships. We bonded in music class, learning to play the drums against the backdrop of Mr. Shookus' colorful wardrobe. In fact, 6th grade was progressing wonderfully right up until spring break. At that point, It turned out to be a year unlike any that we had ever faced before. In March of 2020, the COVID pandemic reached our country and rocked our world. We made the stressful and uncertain transition into online school, where we met for class on Google Meets and Zoom. We filmed ourselves doing PE and submitted videos to Mr. Marco and Coach Rowe. We conducted virtual science labs using the Gizmos tool and experimented with Google Classroom and Flipgrid. Despite many obstacles, our teachers were highly supportive and adjusted quickly to the circumstances. We persevered online for the rest of the year and rode the waves together, undeterred by our physical distance. In May 2020, our country underwent a reckoning with racial injustice that was incited by the murder of George Floyd and other people of color. In the midst of the global pandemic, this made 6th grade an even more historical year. Hillbrook helped us make sense of these events and taught us how to thrive even in times of crisis. Although it wasn't how we planned to end the year, we made the best of 6th grade and will never forget our lived experiences of history in the making. Now I would like to introduce Natasha and Brady, who will reflect on 7th and 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Brady Mogensen.
And I'm Natasha Harnish. I joined Hillbrook in 6th grade, and it was amazing. The campus, the food, the students, and of course the teachers. Last year was crazy. COVID threw us all out of whack, but we were on campus, right? One memory I have is when it was time to take the ERBs. One student was still online, most of us were back in person. Apparently, the ERBs are crazy strict online, so that person who was online came into school in person, and we were all back. It was crazy to know that everyone was here, even if we were still in different cohorts. It was amazing to feel that everybody was on campus, and it was finally getting a little normal. That was one of the only core memories from 7th grade, and I don't remember a whole bunch. I don't know if I should be happy or sad about that, but I do know I'm super happy to be getting back to normal and extremely thankful to be here in person after the last few years got messed up. So without further ado, here's Brady talking about 8th grade.
Eighth grade graduation. It seemed like the day would never come. I'm Brady Mogensen, and I arrived at Hillbrook in 2nd grade. I remember having an 8th grade buddy, Walker. He seemed like larger than life at the time. It's crazy to think that that's us now, and that's the way that the 2nd graders and our buddies see us. It's amazing to see each person develop into their own person and discover their own abilities and talents. I also remember sitting and watching the ceremony, and I couldn't wait for it to end. So I'll make this rather short. In many ways, this year of 8th grade was a return to normal. We saw the 8th grade musical come back with 2 great showings of our very own rendition of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Parents and guardians of our students helped with hair and makeup. Our classmates helped with audio, lighting, and worked on memorization and delivery and made a great set. We also struggled through Exeter math problems, experimented in science, using flammable materials, and only nearly started one fire. But we didn't. We learned about the differences between communism in theory and in practice, and we wrote analytical paragraphs about Shakespeare's tragedies. Miss Maisel and Mr. Callahan helped us with our sustainable impact projects, while we explored our passions and meshed them with our talents to help make an impact on the world. We hosted a very successful Impact Summit right here just a few weeks ago in the Hillbrook Hub. Recess was one of my favorite times of the year. As the months passed, me and my friends played football and basketball, and even though we usually got out of class a few minutes late, we were reliably called back to class a few minutes early. Teachers, you can do a bit better. We formed close bonds on our sports teams, with the football team being so close to winning a championship, and I still think the ref made the wrong call. Miss Maisel helped us so much through the high school process, and I think I speak for the class when I say without her assistance, we would not have had as much success as we did. We also saw the reappearance We also saw the reappearance of the regatta races. If you're not familiar with this tradition, a bunch of 8th graders build boats out of cardboard and duct tape, decorate them, and race them in the pool. It goes about as well as you would think. We saw many designs with a lot of effort put into them, and some designs with not as much effort. Either way, it was a grand send-off to our year. The year is almost over, but it feels like it's only been a few short weeks. In just a few moments, the class of 2022 will be graduating, and I just want to thank our teachers for making the year so special. Whether it be taking us to the movies to see Agatha Christie's movie adaptation of Death on the Nile, taking us to the trampoline park after going to the Veterans Memorial for a field trip, or our elective teachers letting us hop in the pool on a blazing hot day. You all have made this year so special. I will treasure the memories that I've made here in this year and in all the years I've been here. Thank you, Hillbrook.
All right, I'd like to introduce Alicia Fong for the presentation of the class gift.
Hello, I'm Alicia Fong, and I've been a Hillbrook student for 9 years. I believe that a class gift is a gift of gratitude, appreciation, and aid for the communities that helped us grow and those in need. To us, the 8th graders, this year's musical show was one of the biggest events we've participated in. Thanks to Miss Vanessa, Mr. Derek, Miss Jamie, Miss Maisel, Mr. Stamos, Dylan, Mr. Ryback, Ken, the band, parent volunteers, all the 8th graders, and some very helpful 7th graders, we were able to make the musical possible and raised $6,151 from our ticket sales, snacks, and merchandise. This year, we chose 2 organizations to donate some of our money to, and we've decided to donate $500 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital and $500 to the Uplift Family Services. The St. Jude Hospital uses their donations to research children's cancer, and Uplift Family Services uses their donations to buy essentials like toiletries and disinfectants for families in need. The rest of the money will go to the production fund for next year's 8th grade musical. We feel that it is the right thing to give and share when you can, and we are happy to know that our gift will help families and children in need, also help next year's musical get more materials for production. I wish them the best of luck for the show, and thank you all for supporting the class of 2022.
Hello, graduates, families, friends, and alums. I'm Amy Hand, the head of middle school, and it's my honor to celebrate with all of you today. 8th graders. In seeking inspiration for what brief message I could share with you, a singular class with a singular Hillbrook experience, I consulted the Peanuts, knowing that one of the things I and the Hillbrook community would always remember about this class was the triumphant performance of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, which brought back to Hillbrook one of our most beloved traditions. I liked, too, that Charles Schulz, creator of the Peanuts, is something of a hometown hero, having spent most of his life just a couple of hours away in Sebastopol and Santa Rosa. From these connections, I was sure I would extract meaning. So I borrowed the complete Peanuts from my library, and I figured I'd start with the earliest volume, 1950 to 1952. I went hunting for a comic related to school or friends or growing up, and I thought I would use that as the centerpiece of some pithy remarks. Here's the thing, though. The early years of the Peanuts, and I say this with no disrespect to the late Mr. Schulz, are not that good. The jokes are not especially funny. The emotions expressed carry no particular poignance. The observations about human nature, for which the Peanuts was later rightly celebrated due to their depth and insight, were absent. The characters themselves, too, are recognizable as their future iterations, but only barely. In the early Peanuts, they're a bit cruder, a bit younger, far more awkward looking, and though the heart of whom they'll become is there, they're entirely rough around the edges. And that, I realized, that was my metaphor. The Peanuts characters we saw on stage in March, Violet, Snoopy, Tapioca Pudding, Charlie Brown, and so many more, they didn't start that way, as fully developed characters with recognizable quirks, coherent values, and lovable personalities. Their spirits were there from the start, but they became the rich and wonderful characters we saw that evening through a long period of Schultz's tinkering, his edits, his experimentation, and his fierce commitment to them. Likewise, you, the 8th graders we saw that evening, as competent stagehands, fearless actors, courteous ushers, creative artists, skilled set designers, confident MCs, commanding stage managers, and more, you didn't start middle school that way. Your spirit was there 4 years ago, but you too were rough around the edges. You've grown into the beautiful, kind, capable, impressive, ready for high school people that you are today because of your own tinkering, your own experimentation, your own self-edits, and because of the unwavering support and advocacy that your teachers, friends, families, and parents have extended to you over these last 4 years. I speak for all of us at Hillbrook in saying, we are so proud of who you are today. Take a moment to feel that. Like you, class of 2022, this is my last year at Hillbrook. And like many of you, but not all, that means it's the last year of being at Hillbrook, not only for me, but for my family. I know that I share a lot of the bittersweetness you might be experiencing right now. You might be thinking what Charlie Brown once said in one of his panels, "Goodbyes always make my throat hurt." But for a reminder of what a gift those feelings are, we can look to another classic children's cartoon character, Winnie the Pooh, who said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." It is indeed hard to say goodbye to you, class of 2022, and we know how lucky that makes us to have known you, taught you, and marveled at your growth. We'll miss you. And now, without further ado, it's time to give you your diplomas.
Nice job. Great job.
Danny Arnold. Jesse Grant Aschheim. Anada Blue Chunkuntoad. Kyle Cameron Cortez. Kaylee Mary Cross. Devin Avery D. Martin Dimitrov. Kaylin Alumide Ajani Dugan. Kara Fan. Alicia Heyman Fong. Quinn Lee Gingery. Natasha Lee Harnish. David Hirsch Herman. Deeksha Hala. Soraya Lily Johansson. Abigail Joyner. Tess Janice Joslin. Sharanya Kandati. Sion Kinwar. Nico Kong. Jane Callahan Lockteff. Tyler Michael Mazel. Finn McFarland. Ethan McLaughlin. Cyrus J. Mirani. Brady Matthew Mogensen. Oliver Theodore Negan. Estelle Teresa Azul Paduano. Evan Nichols Saras. Maya Jacqueline Swanson. Aiden Tabor. Brody Kenneth Tanner. Emery Marie Wood. Hillbrook community, I present to you your graduates, the class of 2022.
We invite you to join us over here in the 3rd, 4th grade area for our post-graduation reception. Thank you for coming this morning.